November 3rd, 1952, 11:23 p.m. Commissioner Vincent Murphy walked into the basement of one police plaza. 20 cops, 5 FBI agents, and the most wanted man in New York, sitting calmly at a table. Bumpy Johnson had finally taken the bait. Murphy's career-defining moment. 6 months of planning. The perfect trap. But when Bumpy opened the briefcase he'd brought, Murphy's face went white. Inside was everything. Every dirty deal. Every payoff. Every cover-up from Murphy's 20-year career. And Bumpy smiled. "Commissioner, I think we need to talk." What happened in the next 90 minutes didn't just end Vincent Murphy's career. It rewrote the rules between the NYPD and Harlem forever. And when Murphy walked out that basement, he wasn't a commissioner anymore. He was a broken man carrying a secret that would haunt him until his death. To understand how Bumpy Johnson turned a police trap into his own checkmate, you need to understand who Vincent Murphy was in 1952. He wasn't just another corrupt cop. Murphy was the cleanest commissioner the NYPD had seen in decades. Irish Catholic from Queens, Medal of Valor recipient. The press loved him. Politicians trusted him. And he had one obsession: Bumpy Johnson. Murphy had been studying Bumpy for 3 years. He knew his patterns, his associates, his weaknesses. Numbers running was Bumpy's business. Every week, millions of dollars flowed through Harlem's illegal lottery. Murphy wanted to cut off the head, end the operation, make his mark on history. But Bumpy wasn't Dutch Schultz. You couldn't just kick down doors and start shooting. Bumpy had protection. Politicians on his payroll. Judges who owed him favors. Even cops who looked the other way. Murphy needed something bigger. Something undeniable. That's when Murphy got creative. If he couldn't arrest Bumpy on the streets, he'd bring Bumpy to him. April 1952. Murphy started planning Operation Kingpin. The idea was simple. Feed Bumpy false information about a police informant. Make Bumpy believe someone in his organization was talking. Force Bumpy into a meeting to handle the leak. Then spring the trap. Murphy used Detective Ray Sullivan as his point man. Sullivan was Irish, tough, and had connections in Harlem through his boxing days. More importantly, Sullivan owed Murphy. Murphy had covered for him when Internal Affairs investigated Sullivan's gambling debts. Now it was payoff time. Phase 1. Plant the seed. Sullivan started spreading rumors in Harlem's barbershops and pool halls. Someone in Bumpy's crew was feeding information to downtown. Big arrests were coming. Names were being named. The rumors were specific enough to be believable, but vague enough to create paranoia. Within 2 weeks, the rumors reached Bumpy. His lieutenant, Illinois Gordon, came to Bumpy's office, above Small's paradise. "Boss, streets talking. Someone's running their mouth to the law." Bumpy listened without emotion. Betrayal was part of the business. But betrayal from within was personal. Phase 2. The bait. Murphy needed to give Bumpy a reason to act quickly. So Sullivan leaked fake arrest warrants. 3 of Bumpy's top runners would be picked up at dawn. Unless, of course, Bumpy could identify the informant first. The message was clear. Move fast or lose everything. October 28th. Bumpy got word that the informant wanted to meet. Private conversation. One police plaza basement. Neutral ground. The informant would reveal everything. Names, dates, evidence. All Bumpy had to do was show up. Alone. Any other criminal would have smelled the setup, but Murphy had done his homework. He knew Bumpy's psychology. Bumpy Johnson didn't run from threats. He faced them head on. And the promise of identifying a traitor was too tempting to ignore. November 3rd, 11:23 p.m. Bumpy walked into one police plaza. He wore a navy blue suit, white shirt, no tie. His signature gold watch chain hung from his vest, and he carried a leather briefcase. Security tried to search him. Bumpy smiled. "I'm here voluntarily. You want to search me? Arrest me first." Murphy watched from upstairs. 25 men were positioned in that basement. The most dangerous criminal in New York was walking into their hands. After 6 months of planning, Vincent Murphy was about to become the commissioner who brought down Bumpy Johnson. The basement was converted into an interrogation room. One table, two chairs, bright overhead lighting. When Bumpy entered, Murphy was waiting. 20 cops and FBI agents lined the walls, guns holstered but visible. The message was clear. You're surrounded. Bumpy surveyed the room slowly. His eyes moved from face to face, counting, calculating. Then he looked at Murphy and smiled. Not a worried smile, a knowing smile. Commissioner Murphy, pleasure to finally meet. Murphy gestured to the empty chair. Sit down, Johnson. Bumpy remained standing. Where's my informant? There is no informant, Murphy said. You've been chasing shadows for 6 months. This whole thing was designed to get you here, to end this. Bumpy nodded slowly. Smart, real smart. 6 months of planning must have cost the department a fortune. All those man-hours, all that coordination. He paused. Must be important to you personally. Murphy leaned forward. Harlem's numbers racket ends tonight. Your organization is finished. Every person in this room is a witness to your confession. Confession? Bumpy raised an eyebrow. What exactly am I confessing to? Murphy opened a file folder. Inside were photographs. Bumpy entering and leaving known gambling establishments. Bumpy talking to his lieutenants. Bumpy counting money. Conspiracy to operate illegal gambling. Racketeering. Tax evasion. We have enough evidence to put you away for 20 years. Bumpy studied the photographs. These are good. Professional quality. Must have taken months to get these angles. He looked up at Murphy. Tell me, Commissioner, how long you've been watching me? Long enough. Bumpy placed his briefcase on the table. Mind if I show you something? The cops along the walls tensed. Hands moved toward weapons. Murphy raised his hand. Keep it slow. Bumpy opened the briefcase. Inside was a single manila folder. He removed it and placed it on the table. While you were watching me, Commissioner, I was watching you. Murphy's confidence flickered. What are you talking about? Bumpy opened the folder. Inside were bank statements, deposit slips, transaction records, all bearing Vincent Murphy's name. Murphy's face went pale. Dayshore Savings and Loan. Account number 4471, 8952. Your account, Commissioner. Bumpy's voice was calm, conversational. Interesting deposits. $5,000 here, $10,000 there. Always in cash. Always on Fridays. Always the day after major drug raids. The room went silent. Every cop was staring at Murphy. Every FBI agent was listening intently. Murphy's mouth was dry. Those are fabricated. You can't possibly have legitimate bank records. Bumpy pulled out another document. Chase Manhattan Bank. Safety Deposit, Box 447. Registered to Vincent Patrick Murphy. He slid a photograph across the table. All that's you entering the bank. 3 weeks ago, same day my warehouse on 125th Street got raided. Murphy was sweating now. This is impossible. I don't have a safety deposit box at Chase Manhattan. Bumpy smiled. No, Commissioner, you don't. But Vincent Patrick Murphy does. Irish Catholic from Queens. Medal of Valor recipient. 20-year police veteran. Same social security number as you. Same birthday as you. Because it is you. The silence was deafening. Murphy was staring at documents that shouldn't exist. Evidence of corruption that he'd never committed. Except the bank records were real. The signatures matched. The deposits were documented. Murphy was being framed with perfect precision.
How?
Murphy whispered.
How did you falsify bank records?
I didn't falsify anything, Bumpy said quietly.
Every document in this folder is authentic. Every signature is yours.
Every deposit actually happened. Murphy's mind raced. That's impossible. I never took money. I never opened those accounts. I never signed anything. Bumpy leaned back in his chair. No, Commissioner, you didn't. But someone who looked exactly like you did. Someone who knew exactly when to make deposits. Someone who had access to your personal information. Murphy was starting to understand. You had someone impersonate me. For 6 months. While you were planning your trap for me, I was planning mine for you. Every dirty cop you used to gather information on me. Every favor you called in. Every shortcut you took. I documented it all. Bumpy pulled out another photograph. Detective Ray Sullivan shaking hands with a known bookie. Detective Sullivan thought he was working for you. Turns out he was working for me. Every piece of information he fed you came from me. Every rumor he spread was designed to bring you here tonight. Murphy's world was collapsing. Sullivan's been working for you for 18 months, since I paid off his gambling debts. You thought you were using his weakness against him. I was using his loyalty to me. Murphy looked around the room. 25 officers and agents were watching him fall apart, watching their commander get outplayed by the man they'd come to arrest. None of this will hold up in court. It's all fabricated evidence. Bumpy closed the folder. You're right. In court, this evidence would be questionable. But we're not in court, Commissioner. We're in the basement of police headquarters, surrounded by your officers, who just watched you get checkmated by the man you've been hunting. Murphy's voice was barely a whisper. What do you want? I want you to understand something. You came after me personally. You made this about your career, your legacy, your reputation. You tried to destroy my organization, my community, my life. Bumpy stood up. So I destroyed yours first. The bank accounts, real accounts, but funded with money that can be traced back to drug seizures that disappeared from evidence. The safety deposit box contains drugs that were supposed to be destroyed. Your signature? Authenticated by handwriting experts. Murphy was shaking. You're saying I'm being framed for crimes I never committed? I'm saying you're being destroyed the same way you tried to destroy me. With evidence, with documentation, with witnesses. Bumpy gestured to the room. 25 witnesses just watched you get confronted with evidence of your own corruption. Murphy looked around desperately. These men know I'm clean. They know I'm not corrupt. Bumpy smiled sadly. Do they? How do they explain the bank records? How do they explain the deposits that coincide exactly with major raids? How do they explain evidence disappearing from police custody? One of the FBI agents stepped forward. Agent Williams, a 20-year veteran. Commissioner, we're going to need to investigate these allegations. Murphy spun around. You can't be serious. This is obviously a setup. Agent Williams looked uncomfortable. The documents appear authentic. The bank records check out. We have to follow protocol. Murphy realized what was happening. Even if the evidence was fabricated, even if it was all lies, the investigation would destroy him. The press would crucify him. His career would be over. Bumpy picked up his briefcase. Commissioner, I want you to understand something. This isn't about money. This isn't about territory. This is about respect. You thought you could come into Harlem and dismantle something my community depends on. You thought you could make your career by destroying mine. Murphy was broken. What happens now? Now, you have a choice. You can fight this. Drag your family through months of investigation. Watch your reputation get destroyed in the newspapers. Watch your pension disappear. Watch your legacy become corruption and failure. Bumpy walked toward the door. Or you can resign quietly. Tonight. Effective. Immediately. Medical leave. Stress-related health issues. You disappear from public life. The investigation gets buried. Your family keeps their reputation. You keep your pension. Murphy stared at the documents on the table. 20 years of service. A spotless record. All of it gone because he'd underestimated one man. And if I resign, you never see these documents again. You never hear my name again. You live quietly, peacefully, and Harlem stays Harlem. Murphy looked around the room one more time. 25 officers and agents avoided his eyes. They'd watched their leader get outmaneuvered by a criminal. They'd seen evidence of corruption they couldn't explain. Their faith in him was already shaken. Murphy picked up a pen from the table. His hand shook as he wrote out his resignation letter on police stationery. Short, simple, effective, immediately. Medical reasons. He signed it and slid it across to Agent Williams. I'll need this processed immediately, Murphy said quietly. Agent Williams nodded. Yes, sir. Murphy stood up. He looked at Bumpy one last time. How long have you been planning this? Since the day you made it personal, Bumpy replied. Since the day you decided to use my community as a stepping stone for your career. Murphy walked toward the door. He stopped and turned back. You know I wasn't corrupt, right? You know I was clean. Bumpy's expression was unreadable. I know you thought you were righteous. I know you thought you were saving the city. I know you thought black people in Harlem didn't deserve the same respect you'd give to white criminals in Little Italy. Murphy left without another word. He would never speak publicly about that night. He would move to Florida 6 months later. He would die in 1987, taking the secret of what happened in that basement with him. After Murphy left, the room remained silent. 25 law enforcement officers had just watched the impossible. They'd watched a criminal walk into a police trap and destroy the man who said it. Agent Williams looked at Bumpy. Those bank records, were they real? Bumpy smiled. Agent Williams, I think you have more important things to worry about than my business. He walked to the door, then stopped. Oh, and Agent Williams, next time you want to come to Harlem, show some respect. It might save your career. Bumpy Johnson walked out of One Police Plaza as a free man. Murphy's successor, Commissioner Francis Adams, called off all active investigations into Bumpy's organization. The new policy was simple. Don't provoke what you can't control. Word of Murphy's downfall spread through the NYPD like wildfire. Caps, who'd been eager to make names for themselves by taking down Bumpy, suddenly found other priorities. The message was clear. Bumpy Johnson doesn't just fight back. He destroys you so completely that you destroy yourself. Harlem celebrated quietly that night. The king had protected his kingdom once again, not with guns or violence, but with intelligence, patience, and perfect timing. Bumpy had proven something that every cop, every federal agent, and every ambitious prosecutor would remember. You don't hunt the king unless you're prepared to lose your crown. If this story of the ultimate psychological checkmate inspired you, smash that subscribe button. We're telling the untold stories of Bumpy Johnson, the moments that made him legendary. Hit that like button if you think Bumpy was the smartest man in New York, and drop a comment. What would you have done in Murphy's position? More mind-blowing stories coming tomorrow. Don't miss it.